YouTube, Biker Mike here again. This video is going to be on changing the sliders on my 2016 Yamaha Viper. I've got 4,000, maybe, yeah, just a little over 4,000 kilometers on this snowmobile. I bought it brand new last fall, and when I bought it, I also picked up the DuPont sliders. Now these are a lot better sliders than the plain plastic ones. They have these little Teflon inserts that stand up to the heat a lot better, and they're actually supposed to help a little bit with fuel economy. And not only that, but I plan on using this snowmobile for doing a little bit of ice fishing, and when there isn't quite enough snow on the ice to keep those sliders cool, the solid plastic ones tend to start to overheat and melt, and then when you stop, the plastic just melts right onto the little metal tabs on the track that they slide against, and then it's really hard to get the snowmobile going again. It's like it sticks, so you gotta like pick up the back end and slam it down on the ice and wrestle around with it to try and get them freed up again. So I don't really want to be doing that this year, so I'm going to go ahead and install these new sliders, and yeah, I'll just show you. Like, they're kind of wore up here at the front. I don't know if you can see the lines there. I'll try and get the light. So there's still plenty of slider left, but they are wore a bit, so I'm just gonna go ahead and change them, and that way I'm good to go for probably at least a couple seasons with these. There's the part number right from Yamaha if you want them. I forget how much they were. They might have been like, I don't know, $100 for two, something like that. Don't quote me. But yeah, they're pretty easy to get on and off. Now, I've never changed them on this snowmobile, but if you look up here, there's a nut right there. It's an 11mm nut, and then down underneath you got a number 3 Phillips screw head right there, and you just need to rotate the track around to get one of these windows lined up with that screw. Now, if you have an older snowmobile, sometimes those screws get stripped out or they're really hard to break free, so I'd recommend one of these impact driver sets. If you don't have one, grab one up, Harbor Freight Tools or wherever. You can probably get one for 20 bucks, but it'll really help you out with removing any Phillips screw heads or any screws really, or bolts. You just whack it with a hammer there, so it kind of puts force down onto the screw and turns it at the same time. So it really helps with stubborn screw heads. But I won't be using that. I'll just be using my number 3 screwdriver. Yeah, it's a snap-on. I've got a few snap-on tools. I really like their Phillips screwdrivers. They never wear out, and they fit screw heads perfectly, so you don't end up stripping them. So not that I buy a lot of that stuff, but occasionally a few items I will. And yeah, so you just back out that screw, hold the 11mm wrench on that nut, and that's really the only fastener that holds the slider on. So I'll go ahead and remove that right now and go to the next step. Okay, so I had to remove a couple extra parts to make this easier Now I'm going to be adding the fourth wheel kit onto this snowmobile. If you want to check out that video, just click right up there. I'll be doing that one soon. And yeah, so what I did was took the back axle out with the back wheel set, and there's just two nuts that hold that on. There, they go in right there and hold your axle in place. There's these little pieces that line everything up, and for your adjuster. So your adjuster there is a 13mm, so you just back that all the way out to get the axle out. Take those two nuts out of the end of the, or bolts out of the end of the axle, and to make it easier to get that whole wheel set out, I took this bottom out bumper bar out of the slide, and that way you can just kind of pull these slide rails apart, like pull it out this way so that you can get that wheel out, and then line up your window with your slider or your hyfax, whatever you want to call it, and then you can just pull them straight out, and just straight out that way. So it's kind of hard to do with one hand, but it's just that easy. They come right out, and then you can see how wore it was up at the front there compared to the rest of it. So that's obviously a high wear spot, and then maybe a little bit at the back, but everything looks pretty good. But so they probably were getting a little bit thin up there, but like I said, I just wanted the better sliders on there so I don't have issues with it sticking out on the ice when it overheats in low snow conditions, and they're just better. So what I'm gonna do is line this up with the new one, and I'll have to cut it to size. Pretty simple. I'm not gonna go into great detail on showing you that. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'll just shape it at the back like the stock one was, and hopefully it'll just slide right back in there and everything will line up and I can put it back together. But I'll let you guys know once I get it cut down to size. Okay, I'm just in the process of sliding the new hyfax in, and they're a little bit wider than the stock ones, so it's a little tight fitting it through that little track window. So I was just using some soap and water and just spraying everything down to make it easier to slide it back up the slide rail. So just a little tip there. Okay, so I got it all back installed, no problem. I just had to tap it the rest of the way in with a flat screwdriver and a little hammer just to get it all up into position. And you can see the little flare up bevel I put in the back. That's how all that should look. And put the screw back in up here. It's all tightened up. So pretty simple to do. So now I just have to do the other side, and I'll put the wheel back on, and I'll do the fourth wheel video, and then set the track tension on it. So if you haven't seen the track tension video, just click up there in the corner. I'll link that in, and that explains how to set your track tension. One other thing to note, when I took the axle out, I just put a little mark in with a Sharpie just for a ballpark of where the axle was, and I'll put it back there and check the track deflection with it all back together. And it might be a little bit more tight with these new sliders, but that's pretty much where it was at the factory. I never touched it last year, so it should all be good to go. And yeah, thanks for watching the video. If you like the video, like the video. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to keep doing these videos. Hopefully you guys like them. Leave me your comments down below. Let me know if there's any other videos you want to see, and maybe I'll make them in the future. And happy riding, guys. I'm looking forward to another season. It's starting to turn cold, so that's why I'm doing this. Alright, take care.